Cindy, Toastmasters is an organization that I've been aware of for many, many years. I have never darkened the doors or gone to one. And so I think I have a lot of misconceptions about what it is. So let you start by, first of all, thank you for joining us. Tell us a bit about the history of Toastmasters and your own sort of first impressions and first involvements.
All right. Well, Cindy Little here from Ottawa, and I belong to the Manotick chapter. And my friend Sally, who's 20 years my senior, introduced me to Toastmasters. And I was so entertained and fascinated and impressed by how the speakers spoke that I thought, you know what, I want to be like them. And then I started to continue to go back. And I found that I needed to become a speaker for my company. And I wanted to be a better speaker. And we were doing in-home presentations. And we were doing like little one-on-one meetings and Zoom calls and things like that. And then it went on to hotel conferences. Now, Jeff, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Am I to have an echo on my end?
A little bit.
Okay.
I don't know what we can do about that.
Can you hear me good, though?
Yeah, I think so.
Well?
Yeah, maybe just walk towards the window or something, or stick one arm up in the air. But so
all right.
Out in the Manotick chapter, how often does the Toastmasters get together out there in Manotick?
There are different clubs that meet weekly, but ours meets every Monday, every second Monday. And if there's a fifth Monday of the month, we meet 3 times a month.
Wow. I mean, and are there opportunities, say, if someone, as an open house, can someone just sort of wander in and...
Oh, absolutely. Like, actually, we recommend that people drop in as guests. They can come up to 3 times to be a guest. And I would recommend for people to fish around. There's so many clubs in Ottawa alone that, they'll find one that resonates with them. There's some clubs that are actually in workplaces, too. Like Carleton has one at the university, actually. And, not every club is going to resonate with somebody. So find a club that you feel comfortable with. Manotick was a comfortable club for me. It was close to my house. And you can get one weekly. Actually, I went to one weekly, and I went to one bi-monthly as well. So I was very keen when I first started Toastmasters 6 years ago. So I was going to Toastmasters twice a week often.
Now, do you think, I mean, I don't want to assume, but, I know from some of the comments that Pierre made, and he has some friends that struggle with this, do you think that this is the type of skill that is, for some people, if they don't address it, it can become a career-limiting, encumbrance for them? They just don't want to get up in front of a group, and therefore advancement opportunities may be passed by just for that alone.
Absolutely, Jeff. And the thing is that every profession can benefit, every person can benefit from speaking better, from increasing their listening skills. In Toastmasters, they don't just teach speaking skills, they teach listening skills, timing, working as a team, and leadership skills. So you get a lot of bang for your buck in a Toastmasters session.
See, I rarely listen to Pierre, and so I could probably work on my listening.
I rarely listen to myself either. But I find being a good public speaker, getting in front of people, it also helps build a lot of confidence, right?
Oh, absolutely. And again, it goes back to, if you're going to be picked for a job, are they going to pick you because you can speak well and you're confident enough to stand in front of a group of people? And the number one fear for most people is public speaking. People would rather die than public speak, and personally, I don't think I'd want to die.
You know what's funny? You mentioned that. I was at a Christmas party with a company that I do some part-time work for, and after dinner, some of us decided to give voluntary speeches and Merry Christmas, and it's been a wonderful year. And I got up this year, and I like speaking in front of people. I'm cool with it. But I found myself, my heart was pounding through my chest. I was still so nervous, even though I like doing it. Mm-hmm. So I could, I could, even though I like doing public speaking, I could probably benefit from a club like that.
I think for me, it's probably hardest to speak in front of your peers. So, for example, it would be for me to get up in front of everybody at Farm Radio and tell them, what it is we're doing in fundraising. And, so, they're all, you feel like, oh my goodness, I gotta bring it. But, so when you're, do you kind of create scenarios like that at a Toastmasters event where you sort of say, okay, this week do you have like themes that sort of thing? Concepts just to create the atmosphere of tension that have them overcome it, or do you try to avoid tension at all costs and just keep people like sort of working on their craft?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because there's actually a part of our meeting during the 2-hour meeting. Some clubs are 1 hour, some are 2, and there's a table topic section where it's impromptu speaking. So they'll give you a topic to talk about for a minimum of 30 seconds or a minimum of a minute, to talk a total of 2 minutes. And you have to talk off the cuff. Like, it could be a totally different topic that you don't know anything about, but you have to wing it, and you have to come up with something. Like, you might even sidetrack and talk about something entirely different, but it kind of forces you out of your comfort zone. So what it does is it really makes you better at speaking. And table topics it's kind of the idea of, if you get invited to a dinner and you don't know anybody there, and someone asks you a question that you don't know anything about, can you make it relevant? Can you relate to them? Can you make a point? Can you be part of the conversation? So that's what it does.
Very interesting.
That is very interesting.
Now, and let's say that, like swimming or whatever, people are going to have different skill levels. Someone might be there that already does public speaking, but they're just trying to become more polished, versus someone who just says, I've never done any public speaking, but I'm going to apply for this job and I know I'm going to have to do it. So I'm starting from zero. Do you try to set lessons up and times of day where people with like skill levels are together, so that the more skilled don't feel like they have to wait? Or is it better if you have a mix of all the skills in the same room, so you create like a mentorship situation, like, as I am here in the studio with Pierre?
Good example.
But he's surpassed me, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have some seasoned Toastmasters, like people who've been speaking for 20, 30 years, and I'm still in awe of them. Like, I've been a Toastmaster for 6 years, but I've been speaking since I was a kid. I was an Army cadet. I had to give lessons of drill and map and compass to kids when I was a kid. And then when I was in the Army, I had to teach 500 soldiers how to do first aid at one time. I didn't have any Toastmaster training back then. I wish I did.
Wow.
And then, like now on Monday, for example, I'll be teaching millionaires on business skills. And am I going to be nervous? Probably. But because of some of the skills I learned at Toastmasters, I'll be a lot more calmer. And so it's because we have mentors in our club that help people with their nervousness, and beginners. Like, when people come in, they are really nervous. Like, they have to do an icebreaker speech. And the cool thing about an icebreaker speech is they talk about themselves to kind of, no one knows yourself better than yourself, right? So that's why we have them do a 5-minute speech on who they are. And it just kind of makes them feel more comfortable. And then all of the seasoned Toastmasters, everybody else in the club is evaluating how they did. And typically we do the sandwich approach, where we say, you did awesome, way to go, this is your first speech. And then we'll give them some areas of improvement. Like, I think you probably could have used more gestures. I think you could have used better voice, like a little bit louder. You could have stepped away from the podium. And then we'll sandwich it with a nice compliment, like, you're well on your way already. Congratulations on your first speech. I felt that you did this, this, and this really well. Keep it up. And then that way, they feel amazing by the time they finish their first speech, and they're eager to do the next speech. And there's 10 basic speeches we start everybody off with.
That's great. Do you have any idea how many chapters are in the Ottawa region?
Oh, we have, there's quite a few. I had the number here a little while ago, but, there's over 365,000 members in total worldwide, and we're in, I think, 141 countries. And so there's quite a few, actually, and people can Google, if you're
what's the website?
In Manotick, you can Google Manotick Toastmasters, or you can just Google Ottawa Toastmasters, and you'll find a club close to you. There's quite a few of them.
It's .org, I believe, eh?
Yeah, like for Manotick, it is .org.
So if you own a small business and you're just you're suddenly your main salesperson has decided to move on, and suddenly you're thrust into a role that you hired someone to do that for you, but you've got to keep feeding the machine, so you're going to have to go out and do some sales presentations yourself. If you own a small business, can you use Toastmasters membership fees as a tax deduction?
You absolutely can, and that's the beauty of it. And it's really inexpensive to join Toastmasters. For personal growth that you can do weekly and be mentored by top speakers, it's only $7 a meeting, roughly. And so you pay a $50 fee for a one-time club fee because they give you books and everything. And then after that, it's like, I think $15 a month. So it's really inexpensive to be a Toastmaster.
Nice, very nice. And from your experience being involved with the chapter Mantic, what do you think are the top sort of 3 things that people saying, you know what, I joined for this, but I actually also got this, and this? What would be those other sort of additional benefits that people got that they didn't expect to get?
I would say becoming a better listener, because we all have to listen to the speaker, and then we all evaluate. The whole club evaluates the speaker. So you become a better listener, and timing and punctuality are huge in Toastmasters because everything is timed. And if you're one of those people who drags on, and no one really wants to listen to someone who drags on, it really keeps you on time. And then leadership roles, that's something that I didn't really expect with Toastmasters, but everybody takes on a role at the club, whether it's a timer, a treasurer, a president, a VP of membership, which that's my role. So everybody learns a different role, and it's all volunteer, and it's a nonprofit organization, so no one's paid to do this. We all act as a team to get the job done and to teach other people and mentor them.
Wow. You know, I'm thinking just on the fly here as we're going, but, you know, we had a series of sessions here at CKCU for the hosts because we're all volunteers. And we all, you know, and we had people in just talking about how to prepare for an interview, how to conduct an interview. I think a Toastmasters session would be a great opportunity for some hosts just to work on the skills you just mentioned. I think that all plays into being a good interviewer.
Absolutely. You know what? Actually, Toastmasters has been around for 114 years. It started in 1905, and the founder of it, Dr. Ralph Smedley, he started it because he wanted to get a group of guys together and teach them how to conduct meetings, plan programs, and work on committees, and how to speak in general. And initially, Toastmasters was a popular term that referred to a person who gave toasts at banquets and other occasions. But it's way more than that, what I've found. Like, if I had to do a eulogy at my grandma's funeral, I can do it now even better than I did my first grandma who passed away. If I have to be a best woman at a wedding or something like that, or, you know, if there's a best man out there who has to give a speech, it prepares them for daily activities as well, let alone just being a business owner or being a salesperson. Oh, it can affect every walk of life being a better speaker.
Absolutely, and the way you had explained the positive reinforcement with somebody who's coming up on the podium and how you compliment them and then give them some tips and then compliment them again. It's exactly what we do in the fitness industry with new clients. And oftentimes I find myself giving a speech when I'm explaining a new fitness regimen or something I've just created for a new client. So it's a really the parallels are pretty cool.
So Cindy, when you're speaking to these millionaires, I'm thinking that what you want to do is Pierre's going to send you some jumping jack exercises. And so what I'll do is I'm just going to stay in the back. I'm going to sweep up after the event. So I figure, you know, there'll be some loose change. Things will be flying around. And, you know, I think you will talk about it like breathing. But in reality, I'm just hoping to, you know, start our funding drive goal for CKCU with is that something we can talk about off air? We can. I think she hung up.
Are you talking to me or?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. I think Cindy hung up. I don't think that's perfect. I think ethically, I might have broke. I think I might have crossed the ethical boundary.
I think she just pulled a Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver. Are you talking to me?
You talking to me? So just an idea.
That's awesome.
But you know. Pierre was talking about, you know, fitness goals and self-confidence, and this would be a nice thing to maybe add into your to-dos for 2019 is check out a Toastmasters event and work on your listening skills, guys.
I could totally improve.
I love Pierre's fitness tips. I used to be a gym owner and a personal trainer, actually, and that was kind of why I wanted to speak better, too, not just for my own clients, but teaching fitness classes and things like that, and yoga classes and kettlebell classes. Yeah, I had to be in front of a group of people all the time, basically teaching them. So I loved your tips, Pierre.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, setting goals is really important, and self-growth goals. Like Toastmasters, come on in. Like, it's free to be a guest, and we're a very friendly bunch, and it feels like a family when you go there. Like, it's very supportive, and everybody feels welcomed and valued.
All right.
Love your energy.
7:54. I think we're going to have to wrap it up, Cindy, but really appreciate you sharing with us all the benefits of checking out Toastmasters. Well done.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me as a guest, guys.
All right.
Right on.
And you have a great year ahead, and keep in touch. Maybe we can arrange something for a study group here at CKCU sometime.
Fantastic. I friend requested you, Jeff, on Facebook. So
Oh, wow.
We'll keep the ball rolling.
Wow.
Boom. There we go.
You sure it's me? I don't know.
It's
I will
the
watch for that.
radio station.
Yes. Well, the biggest head. I don't know if Toastmasters has these like beanies that you got to wear when you reach certain levels, but you're going to need an extra large.
It's not that big.
It's pretty big.
It's not that.
Talk to you later,
Jeff,
Cindy.
Jeff, come down to Manotick Toastmasters on a Monday night, and we'll have you as a guest speaker, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I'll just come. Let me know when the millionaires are there.
Or a guest.
Let me know when the millionaires are there. I'll just park cars. Okay. I'll go through the change buckets in the cars. Talk to you later. We got to go.
All right. Bye, Jeff.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Okay, bye, guys.
Bye. Cindy Little. Today's show produced by Jen Chase.
Famous.